Hey guys, what's up? It's Cam back at you again. Today I'm bringing you a quick video which has sort of been inspired by a question I was asked in uni the other day, which is how do you find your own voice on the guitar? And I've sort of tried to devise this video into 5 tips which should hopefully help you guys discover your own sort of musical personality on the guitar. Without further ado, let's take a look at first tip. Yes, learning songs. And learning songs is absolutely vital when it comes to building your guitar vocabulary. And if you don't have a good guitar vocabulary, you have no idea what kind of player you are. And discovering what kind of player you are is essential for basically finding your own guitar voice, because you have nothing essentially to go after in terms of goals. And fair enough, you can learn all the basic riffs like Smoke on the Water, the riffs that get you banned in music stores, and what you will discover is that you will play each riff, even if it's incorrect, in your own way. And that is the first sort of step forward into finding your own guitar voice, because it's learning how you approach your guitar. Next tip. Yes, second tip, finding your own vibrato is very, very important indeed. The trick is with vibrato is it's about applying the correct amount of strength and showing that you have control over your instrument. A lot of people, when they start off, when it comes to learning vibrato, is they'll try and imitate the classic movement of vibrato if you're doing air guitar, and it comes out horrible, to be honest, to my ears anyway. And it's when you get people who do, which sounds okay if you're doing like a very sort of slow, like almost like a classical type piece. But when it comes to rock, it's so wimpy, you know, you want a bit of balls to it. And the way to do it is literally take your vibrato, slow it down, and ensure that you're bending in tune. So one exercise you can do with this is something I learned from Guthrie Govan, which is by bending the pentatonic scale. That builds up your left hand strength and gives you the power to tackle rock vibrato. And it's about how you rotate your wrist, because a lot of people think it's about simply bending and flexing your fingers. It's not. It's about how you bend your wrist. What you do is you lock it down, play your note, and it's about the way you rotate this part on the fretboard, the ball joint, if you like, on your finger. And the thing to do is grapple down, so you've got a good grip, not gripping so hard that you're going to break the fucking string, but it's the idea that you're going to literally just, you've got to grab it firmly, but apply the correct amount of strength so that you're bending in tune, but also as well so that you're not only hurting yourself, it's showing that you've got power, you are in control, you are dominating this song, you are playing like you mean it. Nevertheless, find your own vibrato. It is the trick to finding your own fingerprint on the instrument. Okay, this one's probably going to cause quite a lot of controversy, because obviously tab is vital when it comes to learning guitars. But when it comes to finding your own voice, it's not really that important at all. Because tabs, fair enough, is mapping out chords, scale shapes, solos. But one thing it certainly does lack is that tablature can't detect the way, like the feeling in a solo, if that makes sense. Like when I've only ever learned one solo by tab, and that was the Flying High Again solo. And when I tried to look at it on a sheet of paper and think, right, this is this scale, this sort of scale, it's fair enough you've got the scale there, but the way you apply it baffled me for ages. Like, because I used to listen to the song and think, great scale, you get the idea. Basically tablature does not detect the feeling in a guitar solo, and it's all about learning things by ear, by watching what other people do and trying to imitate their movements. Because what I quite often tell my students whenever they're around is, if you cannot imitate, innovate. Next tip. Probably my favourite tip of them all, and this is combining licks. Now, my 4 biggest influences when it comes to guitar is Satchel, Gus G, Steve Vai, Zakk Wylde, and maybe with a bit of Eddie Van Halen in there. But literally, the way I like to do this is I'll take little pieces. When I say little pieces, not like solo pieces, but maybe little things. Like take Satchel. He's in a lot of his solos. He'll do this. It's based in the pentatonic shape. He'll do something like that kind of thing. And then you can take a Steve Vai type of slide or arpeggio. Let's just take this one. That's just a little sort of sequence of arpeggios there. The way I'll quite often do it is I'll mix like a Zakk Wylde. Here you go, here's another combination for you. A Zakk Wylde run like. Full tone bend there, which is pretty basic. Satchel. And it's basically about mapping out the fretboard and then combining those little licks together based on what you know. Yeah, don't rely on effects. Things with effects, what they can often do, fair enough, they're great in terms of changing your tone, but a lot of people can become dependent on them. And quite often that undermines your ability to get better as a guitar player because you are making the pedal do all the work. And that's basically the biggest tip. The biggest one is delay, I feel, when it comes to playing things. Because a lot of people, like, you could take, it's a great little trick, but if you become dependent on it for playing fast, is a delay like this. It's just one sort of little slap back. Ready? Hear that? And quite often a lot of people will use it to double the speed they are playing, so therefore they can play something so relaxed and there's no feeling in it. Fair enough, it would be cool for a little thing, because I'll stamp on this pedal sometimes if I'm doing a little fast thing. So take something we've learned already, like combining licks. So if I can reach the pedal. Etc. Quite often it's about using effects in a subtle way and not depending on how you use them. But yeah, that is my final tip. Don't rely on effects. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found my tips very useful. Even if you don't like these tips, certainly take them on board because they'll be so useful at some point. Because a lot of guitar players often want to be faster than the other guy, and it gets quite competitive, and I'll admit I'm very much of that nature sometimes. It's all about learning to play things smoothly, properly, correctly, and also as well, don't dwell on don't think, oh, your mistakes are just total fuck ups, basically. Build on those and think, that actually might have sounded pretty cool. Fair enough, some mistakes do sound awful, but think about it this way, some mistakes can sound incredible. One thing I learned very much, and it totally changed my perception of the instrument, was I was watching a Satchel video, and he said when it came to developing his own style, because obviously of course he was in a Van Halen tribute band, he said that when he learned, when he was learning to play guitar, he was learning Van Halen 1, I think it might be in a Guitar World video somewhere. He said, I learned Van Halen 1 completely wrong. So then you're there thinking, fine, you learned to play Van Halen 1, fair enough, you might have done it wrong, but you learned to play Van Halen 1 in your own way. which if you like is like founding a whole new style of guitar, and it's done you wonders, because fair enough, you might not have learned to play it exactly the way Eddie did it, but you've learned your own way of playing riffs, which adds to your tone, that then builds to finding your own sort of feel and technique, and therefore as a result you'll have your own voice. Anyway, I could go on, but thank you very much for watching this video. If you feel there's anything I've missed, please feel free to put it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Rock on. I'll see you later, guys.